Good evening, everyone. My name is Brendan Kelly, and on behalf of Durfee High School and the Durfee High School Athletic Hall of Fame Committee, I'd like to welcome everybody to the 2023 induction ceremony. The Hall of Fame Committee is thrilled to be inducting 7 athletes in our last and most recent state championship team into the Hall of Fame. These 7 athletes and team represent 3 different decades in the tradition and dominance of Durfee High School through many different sports. Wrestling, football, diving, hockey with a set of teammates, basketball, gymnastics, volleyball, and of course softball represent the dedication and the rich tradition that Durfee athletics holds. Before we introduce our athletes and get to dinner, there's a bunch of people and groups of people that I'd like to thank that made this special night possible. First off, Whites of Westport, thank you for holding this ceremony. School administration, Superintendent Maria Pont, Principal Matt Damaris, Athletic Director Brad Buston, and all city and state elected officials that are here tonight. I'd also like to thank our sponsors, Bay Coast Bank, St. Michael's Federal Credit Union, Warren Sullivan Funeral Home, Nicholas and Bridget Chris, Scotty's Pub, and Affiliates Marketing Management for sponsoring our event tonight. At this time, I'd also like to ask the members of the Hall of Fame Committee to please rise for recognition. The committee begins this process usually in April and meets 1 or 2 times a month with constant communication. And there's countless hours and work that goes into providing a special night for family, friends, teammates, and a special occasion for our athletes. So without the committee, this night's not possible. So thank you once again, committee members. Durfee athletics has played such a huge and important role in my life and in the life of everybody in this room. Constant memories, tradition, and games highlight our lives. At this time, I'd also like to invite all of current members of the Hall of Fame that are here tonight to please rise and stand. I'd also like to acknowledge our current athletes that are here today representing the current generation of Durfee athletics. With their dedication to athletics they hold, and, I'm sorry, I'm trying to read. And that's why I don't go down and look, because I lose my train of thought. I apologize. With this time, I'd like to introduce the athletes that are getting inducted into the class of 2023. Please rise when your name is called from your table. From the class of 1987, Michael McMahon. From the class of 1990, Amy Costa. From the class of 1991, Stephanie Valente. From the class of 1993, Kevin Brum. From the class of 1993, Robert Raposa. From the class of 2003, Kevin De Silva. From the class of 2008, Alexander Fiola. And the 2004 softball team. All right, folks, we are about to get our ceremony started. Our first inductees is our last and most current state championship team, the 2004 softball team, with head coach Steve Winoski, assistant coaches Andrea Lopes-Curran, Stephanie Pont, and Jim Swanson.
Thank you, Brendan. I think they only gave me 2 minutes to talk, but I'm going to go a little bit longer. And we also have another guy that used to help us out, was Bobby Bonilevich. He was there after we got off practice, and he had his daughter going out there and extra batting practice, and it paid off. Yep. Okay. Yep. All right. What I would like to talk about right now is our feeder system. Okay, we have a good feeder system, and we took our eye off the ball a little bit, but we got to get more people involved because you got a nice little team over there, that Durfee field hockey team, but they don't have enough bodies. We got to get more people there to help them out. They got a big game coming up this week. They're playing Dartmouth, who's undefeated, and they got a good feeder system. They have a girl that's working with them right now. She's back there, and I got a vested interest in it. And like Bobby taught me all about hockey. When I was a K through 6 teacher, I didn't know anything about hockey, but he helped me out, and now I'm learning about field hockey. But if we can get more people to get involved, to get the kids out there and get them learning at a little age, they can get interested and pick up the game. And that's what we did in football with these guys over here at Taylor Brown and that. They were in 6th grade, and Johnny Revolt says, "Hey, come take a look at these guys." And I did. I said, "That's the team that's going to take us to the Super Bowl." And sure enough, they did. But we need people to help out. And then Pop Warner, we got together with them. We had the team with 30 guys from Durfee go down and practice with them. So I'm begging you people, if you have any time and chance to help out these youth in Fall River here, because we're behind the 8 ball, to be honest with you. Some of these kids don't have parents at home or people that care for them, and the coaches. I was talking with Tim Griff yesterday, and he told me a sad story, but he's like the father to that person he talked about. So Tim, keep up the good work. Okay, and now we're going to get on to the softball team. How many minutes do I have, Taylor? You keep track of my minutes? Listen now, when we get to the tournament, they used to holler at me, "You only have 10 minutes." And you can hear the lady back there, "Coach, 10 minutes is up, 10 minutes is up." I made off I didn't hear. I can't hear now, but you know, my wife tells me something. I don't have my hearing aids in today, so I can't hear. All right, so anyways, make a long story short, let's get with the softball team here. Can I have the girls come up, and we'll mention your names when you come up here and give you your certificates? Okay. These are the girls that are here, right? These are the ones that are here? Okay, all right. Okay, you're going to hand them out? Okay, all right. That's why he was a quarterback. Caitlin Belanger, get your certificate from the... Don't fumble that, Taylor. Sarah Benjamin's not here. Stephanie Bonilevich, I'll catch her. Amber Burns. Congratulations to her, by the way. She's not here.
Same.
Vanessa Dias. Jen Fitter's not here. Is the dad here? Ed here? No. Sarah Golden's not here. Sarah Golden. Cassandra Kerrigan, not here. Tina Mitzis, shortstop. Congratulations there. I didn't see her here. Who was that? Vanessa? Yeah, she's right there. Okay. Ashley Marcioni, she's not here. Kayla Pixoto. Kayla? Okay. That's it. Brittany Poissant, is not here. Ashley Rodriguez. Ashley's here. Okay. So good. Nice to see you. I'll talk to you after. Great job. Ashley Sariva. Ashley Sariva. Congratulations again. Sarah Stack. Your mom's here. Yep. Yep. Chelsea Sullivan. Katie Viveris. Sarah Benjamin. All right. Okay, we're going to talk about 2014. It started out, we played it like our first 7 games, and we lost 1 game, and that was the Coyle 5-2. They had a very good pitcher, Courtney Oliver, and the year before that, she went 22 innings against Case. And if they had the maybe play, you know what Bryce Harper did the other day when he was on first base and that guy hit the shot? He ran hard because he wanted to score. He didn't forget about the outs. There was 1 out, but he wanted to score because he thought it was going to get in. And we have that play, the maybe play. If you're on second base and we're in a tournament, you're only going to score 1 run. So if you think that ball's going to drop in, and you see that outfielder getting big eyes going to look for it, and then you run. If they catch it, get double play, boom, okay, that's all right, that's on me. But then if we win the game, you're the hero because they dropped in and that. So you're only going to get 1 run maybe in a tournament. Okay, so that's what Bryce Harper was doing. Some of the people on it, he didn't know how many outs they were and stuff like that, but I know what he was doing. Okay, so Coyle beat us 1-0. Then we go on, and then we hit the vacation mode. Okay, we lose our shortstop because she went to Europe and that, and she had a good time. But it was good for us because it gets your bench ready. Now we're playing a powerful Taunton team. No chance for Durfee to beat Taunton. They kill Durfee all the time. So now we're in the 7th inning, 9th inning. Okay, 9th inning, they have a runner on first base. Matter of fact, this was the Twins, the football coach for Taunton. His daughter hits a shot. She was the catcher. She hits a shot, and the other one's on first base. She's running home. But now we have what we call a double relay because there's no fence at Durfee, so we have to play back. And Marcioni runs the ball down. Our shortstop goes way out, almost like in the outfield. And Vanessa Diaz, who was our first baseman, is playing shortstop, and she's out there. And our second baseman, Sarah Stack, is behind her. And then Caitlin Belanger is where the shortstop would be. So they get lined up in a straight line to come home. So bang, bang, 2-line drive throws home, and Bonilevich slaps the tag on her. He said at the end of the game, he came over to me and said, "Hey, Steve, when my daughter hit that ball, I told my wife the game's over." But they executed it. And everybody says we didn't have the best team, but we had the hardest working team and the smartest team. Okay, so I want to commend you girls for taking it to the next level. And I'm serious about that. I was out in Green Bay on Somerset, Mullins. He was a reporter. And my wife will be my witness. She says, "You didn't have the best team." And we don't have to have the best team. You have to have the hardest working team. And they were. And so that brings us to Taunton. Okay, we beat them 1-0. Then we beat Dartmouth. And then we play Coyle. And now we go in another 14-inning game. And we beat Coyle 1-0. So now we start to believe. And what's the name of that song? Don't Stop Believing by Journey. Okay? And I told them when I go and they put me down in that hole, that's what song I want to hear. Okay? So, but they took that to the next level, and it was all history after that. And so they really started to believe, and we hit a bump though. The last 5 games, we lost 3 games. We lost to Taunton, I think New Bedford, and Bridgewater, Rainham. And so I said, these girls are down. I said, I got to do something. So I got my '98 book, state championship team, and I sat all the kids down right in the foyer there, and we went over it. I says, "Hey, girls, look it. It's happening again. Deja vu. Look what the 98 team did. It was good to have some losses. That took the pressure off us. We lost the championship in 97. We were 20-1. And it was just a base runner mistake. And it was probably my fault because when we do the circuits, all the bases and that, when to run and when not to run, and how to get to the next base, I forgot one thing. When you're on second base and there's a runner on third, you have to watch the lead runner at third. And I didn't go over that in practice and that and all that time. All the drills that we do inside the gym, we have better practice inside the gym, doing all these mental stuff and that. And, taking the lead, watching for pass ball, and all that stuff and that. So anyways, we get on to the tournament now. Okay? The first team we play is King Philip. King Philip has this girl named Amy Kern. We beat her 2 years before on one hit in each game. She has nightmares about the red and black because now we come and play them again. And I went to see them play Apponequet in the morning, but they didn't play in the morning because their coach had a sickness and he had someone take the team in the afternoon. So I went back in the afternoon, and I'm glad I did because Apponequet was behind 1-0, and what the coach did with them was the small ball. They had a third baseman that wasn't too fast, a first baseman that just stayed back, and a catcher, sophomore catcher, had trouble, Amy Kern. So the only person that could field the bunt was Amy Kern. So when we got up to play them, we went small ball. One hit, stolen base, move over to third, and suicide squeeze, and we win. So now we're on to the next game after that is New Bedford. New Bedford took us too light. They beat us 15-2 in the second game we played them. We beat them the first game, they beat us the second game. So now he goes with his number 2 pitcher. She's a very good pitcher too, don't get me wrong. But Erin Sullivan was tall, and she had a college scholarship and that, and he played the number 2, and I think we got 2 runs. And then we played out of our minds. Caleb Pexoto, dive and catch in right field. First baseman, Vanessa Diaz, bounces off the fence, catches. It just, everything was falling right for us. We had the right attitude and the mojo. And we got the win after that. It was like 1 hour game, bang. Then we get on the bus and we have, Bobby was going crazy because we had a actually survivor's father was state trooper. He said, Coach, you want to get out of here? Because it was packed with people in that. He drove that bus out of there. You see Bobby jumping up and down. He can't jump now anymore. But he was jumping up and down. Look at this is great. But it was a great run. And so now we have to play Bishop. No, not that one. Milton. And they had a good team, but we beat them 7-1. That's the only team that scored on us. And what's her name? And what's her name wasn't pitching in the last inning when they got a run. So she shut everybody out, and then that's another story. Okay? So now we have to play Somerset. And again, we won the coin toss, we're visitors. Why do you want to be visitors, they say? Get on top of that right away. Right? Kids are nervous. They get the butterflies, right? Okay? Let them have the butterflies around in the field. We'll get up and get the butterflies out when we're up. And if we can get ahead, you get 1 run. That's crucial in the psychology of the game and that. It's called psychocybernetics and that. To get the pressure on them. And there was no pressure on us. We went out there and, if we score first, it's great. And sure enough, the Somerset game was 3-0. We scored with Emmett Burns, going down the suicide squeeze and that. Get the 3rd run in. And I think it was an hour game. Then I told Andrea, I said, you got to come with me. So I brought my car because I knew we were going to win. I'm not being cocky. I just had the feeling that we're going to go up to see Bishop Fenwick and that. And so the other coaches went home with the team, and we went up there, and we got there right when the game started.
You might have driven a little fast.
Yeah. So anyways, I didn't get any tickets and that, but we saw the game, and I'm glad we saw the game. They were a very good team, very close team. Now, this is the only time we lost a coin toss. And the coach goes, he did his homework. He says, I know you want to be visitors. So I thought he was going to take visitors. He says, nope, I'll be home. So we took visitors, and we got on them too. And that's the only day that I thought we had a little something going with our pitch because it was a warm day. Remember, Caitlin? We were hot, and we tried to get 1 more run. So now I'm going to look like the bad guy. So I'm going to tell you that story too now, right? Fit is up. Gen Fit is up. And we have, who was on third base that time? Oh, Amber Burns. Amber Burns was on. We had Amber Burns pitch run. So we're going suicide squeeze, right? And he tells his players to come in. I says, oh, boy. I says, I'm going to get these kids into an out here. So Fitter fouls it off. I said, beautiful. She got me off the hook. So I take her out. And when we play a game of bunting. And, you know, you don't supposed to let the people pick. I let our team pick who they want on the team because they have to run after if they lose the bunting game. So Ashley Saraiva is usually the first one they pick all the time because she's a very good bunter. But she looks like a home run hitter. So now I bring in Ashley, right? I bring in Ashley to come up, and she's a good bunter. So I just tell her, hey, you're bunting. And I tell Fitter, let's go, squeeze. Amber, squeeze. So the girl had a nice rise ball. She gave a rise ball, and she bunted it and popped it up. So now I look like the bad guy, and it looked like I took the Fitter out because she couldn't get the bunt down. So I had to get Jen and explain to her that it was, I said, you got me off the hook because you fouled it off. We would have been out anyways. So with that said and done, we get through that game, and then we go on to Fitchburg. And Fitchburg, we went to see twice. We took half the team up there. And Tina was running out of gas, so we had to pull over and get gas for a car. Remember that trip? Up in Worcester. We went to see Fitchburg twice. And I'm glad we did because they had 2 or 3 good hitters in that, and we pitched around her. Belanger and the catcher, we pitched around her, and we didn't let them beat us in that. And you take away the best hitters, and we ended up winning. They gave up only 20, and I put all the stuff on the board for you girls. I have that paper in the car. They only gave it 26 runs the whole season, but we were never shut out. So we had a good thing going. So the guy says to me, the radio reporter, so what do you think, a 1-0 game? I say, yeah, probably extra innings, right? And sometimes I say things and they happen in that. And then sure enough, it was the 8th inning. And Tina was up, and good hitter, and she pops it up. So Marcione's behind her, so I don't give the bunt signs. I just give it the head nod because I don't want to give any signals now and then we have Fitter going. So drops the bunt down, runs down hard, beats it out. The second baseman's slow getting over there, and we're safe, and then we get him out 1, 2, 3. But that's why, girls, who covers first base on a bunt for us? The first baseman. We don't have a charge, right? We have the second baseman. So there's no moving target there. So, and like I said, we had the smartest team, and the rest is history, okay? Congratulations, girls. And now we want to get our bats going here. Coach, can you help me with the bats? Okay, you got it? Yeah. All right, on the bat it says, I can put my glasses on. What's it? Taylor, tell them what it says on the bat, please. I don't have my glasses.
Tina misses. Tina misses.
Okay. It says on the bat.
No, what else? Not the name. What else does it say?
Yeah.
2000 Division I state championships.
Okay. 2001 Division I state champion.
2004.
2004. Okay. Thank you. Tina.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Ashley? She's not here.
Wait, Marcion here. So this is a lot.
Ashley's not here. Rodriguez? Rodriguez is here. Yeah.
Bobby Bonalevich.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Peyton. Dartmouth field hockey player. Amber Burns. Amber Burns.
Stephanie Bonalevich.
Stephanie Bonalevich. And Bobby Bonalevich. I got your bag. I'll give it to your daughter. Okay. Okay. Kayla Pixoto. Caitlin Belanger.
Sarah Stack.
No, she's not here.
Well, Mom is here.
Oh, okay, yeah, Sarah Stack. She did some.
Stack!
Katie Viveris. Ashley Sariva.
Maybe got front seats now, Sarah.
Coach Stephanie Ponce. Coach Andrea Lopes Curran.
And Steve Winoski, head coach.
Thank you, Gills. Okay, come on, Gills. Coaches. Gills, come
I
on
think
over.
we have to
Take
go
a
over there.
picture.
Over here. We're saying hi to you.
Hey, Taylor, I'm sorry. Throw the flag on me.
All right, I should be in the picture. I can take the picture. Hang on. Squeeze in. This is a lot. Who do we look at? Yay! There we go. Oh, so you don't need a cane, just use a bag then. You don't need a cane, just use a bag. Yeah. Who are we smiling at? Ready? Donate. Ready, Dad? Are we gonna sign these? Are we going? Oh, we're still going. We're still going.
Thanks, man. Good job. Okay.
Thanks, Coach. Thank you, Coach Winoski, and congratulations to the 2004 softball team. Our next athlete to be inducted from the class of 1987, being inducted by his friend and classmate, Joe Kazin, Michael McMahon.
Coach, you're a tough act to follow, but I'm going to give it a shot. I was just telling Bobby that we were very fortunate to know that we had adults and coaches and teachers in our lives that, when you looked at Coach Ranofsky, you knew he loved it. You knew it wasn't, it was very authentic. He brought it every day. He loved us. He coached us. He gave us everything. I just my coach, I just want to give a hand to Coach Ranofsky. Thank you for everything. I love you. Thank you. Mike McMahon. I am so pumped up to tell everyone about Mike McMahon. Mike's very nervous right now because I have been known to go off course a little bit. I'm going to start with another great coach, Vince Lombardi. So this is very serious. I'm putting on my glasses. This epitomizes my friend, my teammate, my co-captain, Mike McMahon. This is from Vince Lombardi. The spirit, the will to win, the will to excel are the things that will endure. These qualities are so much more important than the events that occur. So the events that occurred were Mike McMahon has 9 varsity letters for Durfee High School. He was the captain of the football and the wrestling team, probably the track team. Mike McMahon was a champion in football. There were 4 conference champions in the history of Durfee football. Mike was the captain of one of the teams in 1986, the Southeastern Mass Conference. Mike was all conference his junior and senior year, and a Herald News All-Star his junior and senior year, defensive back. Mike was the leader of our defense in tackles and takeaways. Now, Mike, believe it or not, led the team in rushes per attempt, but he rushed for over 600 yards and on only like 10 rushes. No, I'm joking, but I did not let Mike get too many carries. But Mike was a great running back, but I didn't let anybody know it. Mike was the captain of our wrestling team. In 1986, 1987 team, the team's record, we won 12 team victories. Mike won, I think our team, and Mike was the MVP of the Lex King Suitor tournament. Mike won the South Sectional Massachusetts. He was the South Sectional champ in the 157 pound weight category. Mike went 26-3 his senior year, and he scored over 200 team points in his Durfee career and had over 50 wins, probably more, but I'm not really particular on the details. So now I'm going to talk about the will and the will to excel and the will to win. Mike's work ethic and leadership were inspiring to his teammates. Mike was like a captain. Mike was like a coach on the wrestling team. He basically taught me every day. Am I too close to this thing? He taught me every day something about wrestling. His Uncle Jim was a wrestling coach, so Mike had so much knowledge and experience. So I'm going to tell a couple of stories, and I'm going to ask some quotes from Mike's teammates. This is a quote from Mike's teammate, Chris Rezendes, the quarterback of our team, and he said, there was no more dedicated athlete in the country during Mike's time at Durfee. No one worked out with both his intensity and consistency, and he brought that to practice and to games. This was a quote from Brian Farrier. No one would outwork him. Fierce competitor, always put the team first. Maximize his athletic ability. This is a quote from Jeff Martin, offensive guard, Durfee High School, and he's a pilot for UPS. I got into a fight. This is a side bit, but Jeff and I would fight in practice, but this is Jeff's quote. Mike's intensity was contagious. His drive and motivation affected all of us and inspired all of us. This is a quote from Roger Souza. I had to shorten it, Mike. Mike and Roger went to school from kindergarten to they graduated high school together. In 8th grade, we would go to the weight room at Durfee, and basically that's where Mike McMahon and his legendary workouts and him building himself up. I remember when Timmy's dad was the coach of Durfee, and the freshmen got to go to double sessions, and it was terrifying. We had Tim Griffin, Tim White, Jeff Pont, Mark Nassif. We were freshmen. Mike was 100, and I say Mike was 101 pounds, but he said he was 114 pounds. But getting back to Mike McMahon and sort of why he's a Hall of Famer, this is a quote from Roger. Mike McMahon basically changed his body from a 110-pound kid to a 165-pound nasty, vicious beast in athletic competition, Mike. he did say that you were one of the nicest human beings off the field. Mitch Rogers said a quote to you, Mac at times was surreal. His commitment and discipline to being the best pushed him to another level. He was a fierce competitor who never sought the spotlight, but always seemed to be there when it mattered most. A longtime friend and teammate who expected your best, but always gave his best in return. So I'm going to close with some stories about the legend of Mike McMahon and how he sort of changed the culture of Durfee football. We started football camp at UMass Dartmouth. It was the first year of Carlin Lynch's Superstart camp. So we would, before football camp started for all the high schools, New Bedford, Dartmouth, Coyle, Durfee. Thank you to the Gridiron Club. I would never be able to, they paid for us to go. So Mike McMahon, during the first warm-up session, starts to sprint in the warm-up. So I'm like, hell no. I follow him. So Mike and I are sprinting in the warm-ups during the warm-up. And that set a stage to tell all the other teams that we were playing that Durfee football is for real. And in fact, we never lost to any of those teams that went to that football camp. We tied New Bedford and we beat Dartmouth and we beat Coyle and I don't know who else. So like Mike, like you and your intensity and your work ethic, you're so deserving of this honor. I just want to do a couple more stories. We watched film during after a football game, and I just remember this. I'll never forget it. Coach Botello stopped the film, and he was showing Mike make a block for me, and it was like the guy was twice Mike's size, and Mike was in perfect position and just knocked the guy, like just completely blew the guy up. It was like still to this day, I'm an avid football fan, and I've never ever seen a better block than Mike did, and he was a great football player, is what I'm trying to say. And lastly, how tough he is. I remember we were playing Catholic Memorial our junior year. It was muddy. And Scott Matosa knows what kind of wimp I am. I used to play football with Scott every day as a kid. And so I got a helmet to the quad, and Mr. Peliquin knows that what kind of wimp I am. I got a football helmet, and I'm crying. I'm in the huddle, and I want to leave the game. It's wet, it's stinky, it's gross, we're getting killed. And Mike McMahon looks me right in the face, and he just embarrasses me in front of like our team, and I completely forgot about the pain in my leg. And I was so afraid of disappointing my teammate that I didn't quit. And I thank you for that. And I'm going to ask you to come up and accept this honor. Thank you.
That's a tough act to follow. Thank you so much, Joseph. Thank you so much. I have to say, this afternoon I was catching a little bit of rugby on television, and those guys are tough. But I'll tell you, they're not Joe Kazin tough. So I love you, brother. Thank you. I just first want to start to thank everyone who's here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, former coaches, friends, athletes, current, former athletes that I've seen tonight, and of course, family. I'm so pleased to be here tonight, and of course, I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for putting my name forward to be here tonight. It's such an honor. My message tonight is gratitude. And what this means to me, it's an opportunity to give back, to thank those who made this possible. I know a few years back, it might have been 2010, 2011, my biggest supporter in my entire life has been my sister, my little sister, Mary Ellen. And I didn't know it at the time, but she was working really hard behind the scenes to put my name forward. And for whatever the reason, the timing or whatever, it didn't happen. And I just want to thank her to the bottom of my heart that, hey, tonight's our night. So gratitude, what does that mean when we talk about athletics? I can tell you that being a proud member of the 1980s classes in Durfee High School, it was a great time. It was a great time to be an athlete. It was a great time to be a student. It was a fun time. It's all started, I was a parochial school student, as Joseph mentioned earlier. I was at Holy Name School for 8 years. And when I got to the big school, to Durfee, it was like a whole new world. And for someone like me coming from a small school to this large, amazing universe, to make that adjustment, the one thing that got me through that door was those late summer, early training practices, those double sessions in football. And for the first time, and I didn't know it at the time, that I would be meeting people that would be friends my entire life. So for my athletes that are sitting over there in the back table, listen to me carefully. I am so pleased that you're here tonight to witness this, because it's more than just the wins and losses. It's more than just having a good time and being out there. It's a lifelong thing that stays with you. I have friends in this room, which I'm so pleased to see again tonight, but I have friends in this room who were out there playing with me on the field, who are out there on the mat, who are out there. These are lifelong friends. This is my Durfee family, and I'm so pleased, and I'm grateful to have had that experience. Thank you. As Joseph mentioned earlier, my early days in Durfee really started when I came up in 8th grade. And it was Mr. Montel who actually introduced me to the weight room. And it was such an honor to see that weight room be dedicated in his name, as it should always be. And I just want to thank Mr. Burns, the former athletic director, and Mr. Buston. They worked so hard to put that dedication up. And if you haven't seen the new athletic facilities at Durfee, please go there. Please be a part of it. As Coach Winowski said, we need everyone. We were there this morning with all the middle school students I was coaching cross country for the middle schools, and we had hundreds of kids there, but they need more. They definitely need more. So I'm totally advocating for, we need everyone in this room to keep continuing to support youth athletics, because for me, it opened a whole new world. That was the one saving place. I wasn't the best student. I'll be the first to admit I struggled in the classroom. And most of that was from learning disabilities that I wasn't aware of at the time. But again, I didn't come from a world where we make excuses. But the one saving grace that I had was my phys ed teachers, who some of them are here tonight, and I'm pleased to see them, my phys ed teachers and my coaches. These folks dedicated so much time and energy and put so much work into our lives. And I know now, being a coach and having been a coach for several years now, that takes a lot of time and energy and dedication, time away from your family, from your children. And again, I'm so grateful that I had those people in my life. And that tradition needs to continue. Some of those friends that I want to mention real briefly, some of those friends I have, teammates that I've had. Obviously, Joseph Kazin and I had a bond that went even to this day. We call each other, and if we need something, we know that either one of us will be there for each other. And that's such a great feeling, to know that we have friends that we can count on. Those lessons are learned on those sports fields, in those athletic rooms, in those locker rooms. I have my good friend Jeff Martin here, one of our linemen. Thank you, Jeff, for being here. Carl Mello. There's a bunch of you here tonight, and I'm so thankful to see my friends. Chris Resendiz, who was mentioned earlier. When I was on the track team, Chris was an incredible, he could run like a gazelle. He was so fast. And I would kill myself to try to catch up with him. And it was such an honor. I think in one practice, I finally did catch him in the 100-yard dash. And it was like an amazing moment. Like, I caught him. And I remember Coach Taylor at the time, Bob Taylor, had rewarded me for it by putting me on the 220-yard dash. So my sprinting career kind of didn't take off from there. Mentioned earlier, Roger Souza was one of those teammates I had who I competed with from first grade to 8th grade and then into high school. So it was so nice to hear those words tonight from him and many others. My coaches, again, these men spent much of their time and dedication. I have a couple that I really, really want to mention tonight. First of all, Coach Botello for my football team. Coach Botello, I learned, was a man who truly, truly taught us that it was family, faith, our work in the classroom, and then it was football. And that message really carried through to me, and hopefully I can continue that tradition when I'm coaching my kids now. And I always remember those words from Coach Botello. There were two position coaches who really helped me have success. The first was a coach, Frank Faraz, who was with me with the running backs coach. And when I was first coming out for football, I didn't have a lot of natural ability. In fact, Joseph doesn't know the story, but I don't think I ever told you this. On the first week of practice, we would run out to the field and get ready to run. And I was so concerned because I kept hearing about Joe Kazin. Joe Kazin, he's a great running back. And I wanted to beat him out. I wanted to win the position. I really did. And I remember sprinting out there, second day of practice. I'm going all the way out there. I'm going to get ready, get my drills going. We're about to start running back drills. I'm like, okay, Coach Medeiros at the time. All right, running backs, we're going to get ready. And so we go line up and do our drills. I go to put my helmet on, and I'm missing the jaw pads. I couldn't wear my helmet, so I had to go walk all the way back, and I was so disgusted with myself. But it was people like Joseph and Chris and others. There were some fine athletes in my senior class who pushed me to be a better person each day, to push me to work harder, to work even harder. And I thank them for that. Going back to Coach Faraz. Coach Faraz actually would take extra time with me. He would spend a lot of hours with me working on certain plays. And every time I would question him a lot about plays, and he would always take the time to help me with that. He would always take extra time, and I really appreciated that. The other coach I wanted to mention for football was Bobby Olilla. And Bobby Olilla was my defensive back coach. And he was a guy that I spent many hours with because he would always take extra time to be in the weight room. And he would always push us to lift weights in the off season. And he was the guy who really helped me develop as a defensive player and really gave me my first crack, my first chance at starting varsity. So I always remember him for that. So thank you, Coach Olilla. There were many others. Steve Winowski, of course, was our line coach who was always there, who always preached toughness, and he still does that. Thank you, Coach. And my wrestling coaches, I had Donnie Frank, who was always a gentleman for my first 2 years of coaching. He taught us what winning was about, and if we lost, how to do it, how to win with class, and how to lose with dignity. And I always appreciate Donnie for that. And in my last 2 years, I had Mike Pereira, who I am so grateful for. He took on the job at a time where he was really not too far removed from high school himself. So this was all new to him. And I had been in school for a little bit, and I'd been in wrestling for a little bit. And for him to do that, he spent so many hours learning and coaching himself up on the sport. And really, really, I'm proud to say I was his first champion. So thank you, Coach Pereira. And there were, again, many assistant coaches who helped along the way. Chris Boyle, Jerry Lima, Pat Stevenson, and my teammates, Michael Alves, who would come back. And, you know, it wasn't bad enough that he'd beat me in practice when I was younger, but he'd take breaks from college and come back and give it to me again. So, yes, I'm thankful for all my coaches and teammates. Coach Taylor from the track team, I couldn't figure out why are we running up these hills, you know, and come to find out it really paid off, especially when it came time for the fall again to play football. So thank you, Coach Taylor. Again, the time that these people give us is unbelievable. We had one of the best training staffs in the country at the time, and we still do. And I just want to thank Paul Peliquin, who's here tonight. I don't know if people know this, but right before the Thanksgiving Day game, my senior year, he literally took extra time when he could have been home preparing turkey or whatever. He actually took extra time to actually make a specialized cast for my hand. I had a busted finger, and he took extra time and really made it possible for me to play my Thanksgiving Day game. Without it, I wouldn't have played. And again, to the bottom of my heart, thank you for that experience, and thank you for taking that time, Mr. Peliquin. Thank you. Okay, I said earlier that I was going to speak about gratitude. And now I'm at the part where I want to talk about family, because family has meant so much to me. And when I think about my family, I think about the connection that family and sports have had in my life. And I can tell you, my time at Durfee High School was one of the happiest moments in my family's life. I can remember being at football games, and I would hear my Aunt Louise. She had a booming voice. She had a wonderful voice, a beautiful voice. And I could hear her from out on the 50-yard line, "Mikey, get him, Mikey, get him!" I could hear her screaming it the entire game from start to finish. I love that woman. God rest her soul. I love Aunt Louise. My Uncle Jim, who was mentioned by Joseph earlier, is the first guy who got me interested in sports. He was the first McMahon to make his mark at Durfee High School, a great running back in the 1960s. And I'm proud that he's here tonight, and I'm so happy to see him and my Aunt Mamie, and they're here tonight. And I want to thank my Uncle Jim, because he's the guy who inspired me to be the athlete that I am today, and really introduced me to the sport of wrestling, which I love. It's my passion. Thank you. I have many other family members here tonight, including my sister Mary Ellen, who I mentioned earlier, and my Aunt Mary Jane, Jim, and there's a whole bunch of people and friends here tonight. I'm so thankful to have them here. But my last remarks tonight, I want to take a minute to correct an unintended mistake that I made 36 years ago. Yeah, it's been 36 years. We were in whites, as a matter of fact. It's kind of ironic. And we were in the spring sports banquet. It was the end of the year banquet. I was here with all my teammates and coaches and families. We're all at whites. We're all gathered together like a function like this. And like I said earlier, I came from a graduating class that had many great athletes. In fact, I think maybe 7 or 8 of them are in the Hall of Fame currently right now. But that particular evening, we had gone through getting our varsity letters and awards, and then they made an announcement that the male athlete of the year, and they called my name. And I wasn't expecting that. I was truly deeply moved by that. I knew that my coaches and people that were involved in Durfee athletics had a lot to do with that. And it was really touching, but I was not prepared for that as a 17-year-old. I wasn't even thinking that I was going to be up on, they actually asked me to come up and give a speech. So the unintended mistake was, back at that time, and I didn't really speak real clearly. I tend to mumble a lot, and I would come up and it kind of probably sounded a little like, it sounded like that. But I thanked my teammates, I thanked my coaches, but I forgot to thank the two most important people in my life, and that was my parents. You see, in the McMahon household, there was no such thing as you're going to quit. There's no such thing as it's too tough, because I had two living examples of what hard work ethic, what it meant to give your all, give your best, to sacrifice. My parents sacrificed for my sister and I through their hard work. My father, I tell you what, if I went up to him and said, I can't do this, it wasn't going to happen, because every time I went home, I would see that man passed out in the chair because he had been laying brick all day, picking up 8-inch blocks, throwing mortar on it, and laying brick all day long, to the point where he physically couldn't move. And if I went to go talk to him, I look up on the bookshelf, and there's 2 Purple Hearts staring back at me. This guy was a disabled American vet from the Vietnam War. There would be no quitting in the McMahon household. And just for fun, he decided to become a firefighter. Let's go run into some burning buildings. So yeah, work ethic I learned early on, and I'm super appreciative of my father for that. Love you, Dad. I'll save the best for last. My mother was truly my inspiration. My mother was such a hard worker. For those, there are many of you in this room who knew her well. She worked her tail off every single day. And she was, if she was in this room tonight, and I'm sure she is, her spirit would be filled in everyone. Because she was that type of person. She was the life of the room, but she was also the next one the next day who was ready for work. And back in 2002, I had lost my mom to cancer. And it was a sad day, of course. It was a very sad day. But I never really lost my mother, because her spirit lives in me, lives in my sister, and it's something that we carry with us every day. And my mom was the type of person who would inspire me to reach higher than I could. So yes, maybe I was that 101-pound kid, but in my mother's eyes, I was top of the world. I was Tom Brady. So we need him today, don't we? So I was Tom Brady. And again, I can't say enough about the sacrifice that they made. And I just want to say I love you, Mom. This is not just about me, it's about you. And I also want to thank my Durfee family. Thank you so much.
Congrats, Mike. Up next, we have Alex Fiola being inducted by her sister, Lauren Fiola.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I think it was a 2-minute time frame for this. For those of you who don't know, I'm Lauren Fiola, Alex Fiola's sister. I had the very unique experience of being able to play alongside of my sister for 2 years while at Durfee, basketball that is. While we may have had many differences of opinions at times while playing, Alex was a phenomenal team captain whose leadership skills shaped the woman she has become today. Anyone who played with or against Alex knew she was deadly from the three-point line. I was able to experience this both as her teammate and unfortunately as her opponent when we faced each other in college. Alex achieved over 1,200 points during her time at Durfee. She averaged 17 points per game her senior year and shot 42% from the three-point line her junior year. She went on to play at Southern Connecticut State University on a full basketball scholarship where she played all 4 years. She then graduated from Southern Connecticut with a nursing degree and went on to become a nurse anesthetist. Basketball has brought many achievements. However, I have been blessed enough to see her greatest achievements to date, which are her 2 beautiful sons, JJ and Hudson, who are here tonight. Alex has always been not only a fantastic teammate, but also a role model to me. With all that being said, I'd like to welcome up Alex to receive this award.
Thank you, Lauren, for that introduction. When they asked me to pick someone to introduce me, it was a pretty easy decision. I don't think I realized at the time, I actually know I didn't, but how special it is to play high school varsity sports with my sister. As she stated, we didn't clearly see eye to eye quite often on the basketball court or in life in high school, but she's now my best friend, so thank you, Lauren. I want to thank the committee for putting on this event tonight and selecting me to join the Durfee Athletic Hall of Fame. I want to thank my parents, Ken and Carol Fiola, for their unwavering support throughout the years and dedication to helping me be the best basketball player and athlete I could be. Dad, if it wasn't for you, I certainly wouldn't be here tonight. From the early morning practices before school to the late night free throws you had me take before we could leave the gym, it's clear the hours we spent together paid off. I want to thank my husband, Jack, my in-laws who are here tonight, and my children for their love and support in sharing this special night with me. Although my husband couldn't be here tonight, he coaches football for the University of Wisconsin. They just lost to Iowa in a heartbreaker, but it's okay, go Wisconsin. I want to thank my teammates and my coaches throughout my time at Durfee. Some of the best memories I have come not only from the games we played, but the practices, bus rides, and team activities together. A couple of the Hall of Fame softball ladies were also my teammates, so congratulations. Basketball is truly a team sport, and I wouldn't be able to do this alone. Being a Durfee athlete has always meant a lot to me. A very distinct memory I have is being in 8th grade and talking with my parents about where I would go to high school. After going to Catholic school up until 8th grade, they really wanted me to consider continuing on to Bishop Conley or staying for high school. Yeah. I remember having a very heated conversation with them in our basement and stating how I adamantly wanted to go to Durfee like them and play basketball there like my dad did and all the other great basketball players to have played at Durfee. To me, there was no other schools to consider. I wanted to wear the red and black. Playing high school basketball at Durfee, being part of a legacy high school basketball school that Durfee is something I knew meant so much to me even in the 8th grade. Needless to say, I won the battle and I went to Durfee. Once I got to Durfee and made varsity as a freshman, I was elated. It was a dream come true of mine. The first game of the season was a home game. I don't remember verse 2. I don't have the greatest memory like everybody else up here. But I do remember being nervous and having those freshman jitters. I do remember also that one of my first touches of the ball was getting a pass and driving to the basket and getting fouled. When I got up to the foul line, my hands were shaking, kind of like I am now. I got the ball and it went in. After the shot, I clearly remember Bethany Plaskey coming up to me, who we all know is another Durfee Hall of Fame legend, coming up to me and giving me a tap on the shoulder and saying, "Welcome to the club." That little gesture and saying meant everything to me. I felt like I finally made it, and it solidified the reason I came to Durfee. Oh my God, why am I crying? Sorry. It's the baby hormones, baby postpartum hormones. To play basketball and try to leave a lasting footprint on the court like all the greats before me did meant so much, and I'm glad to be a part of this amazing club. I'm honored to stand here today among so many great former Durfee athletes and people in this community. Congratulations to all the other Hall of Fame inductees tonight. Thank you, everyone. Oh, done. Can I go sit here or down there?
You sit up here. Oh, actually. Congrats, Alex. Up next, we have Amy Costa with Coach Marshall Tates.
That's a long walk. The divers aren't used to long walks. Divers aren't used to getting awards either. Divers are the last person on a swim team that everybody thinks about because nobody stops to think about the amount of work that goes into it. Very lucky to have a young lady named Amy Coster, who came to me in 9th, 10th grade, actually 9th grade, as a gymnast. Didn't know anything about it. Turned out to be the best diver at the school I'd ever seen until then. And actually until now also. This is a girl who went 32-1. She lost one meet. And that was by 1/10 of a point. She was an absolutely tremendous athlete. You have to understand what goes into making an athlete. I've been coaching since 1960. That's a pretty long time. Amy's parents were behind her 100%, but more than that, that goes for every athlete in this room. You don't become an athlete unless you have parental consent. You don't become an athlete unless you have parents who are willing to put up with it. Second thing is drive. You've got to be anxious to do things, to get things done, to do it right. Do what your coach tells you, to have the discipline to do it that way. And that's hard, and it's becoming increasingly more difficult. So those are things you have to do. And if you're a diver, it means you have to conquer fear. Do you know what it's like to jump off a diving board, go straight up in the air, and not knowing whether you're going to come back down on that board or go into the water? And then the question is, are you going to come in the water and feel good about it, or are you going to hurt all over? Because those are things that happens to divers. Divers break their bones. Divers break their teeth. Divers break their faces. They die of lung breakage as well. Nobody ever tells you about that. But that's what can happen. And that's what happens regularly. If you watch the Olympics, for example, way back when Greg Louganis was diving, you saw him bounce off the board. Of course, they didn't tell you he broke 3 ribs and a cervical vertebra. So those are the kind of things that can happen. And you have to be able to conquer those kind of things if you're going to perform as this young lady performed. I haven't seen anybody like her since. She went to college and got sectional and state awards. She was named as best athlete for 4 years straight by the Herald. So there's, to me, nobody more special. Nobody that does what she does. That doesn't mean that she's better at any other sport. She's also a gymnast still. But football players have their players. I have mine. And she's great. And I love her for it. So, Amy, it's all yours. HR can come and get me.
A big thank you to Dr. Tates. I couldn't have done it without him. I was a former gymnast turned diver, and I owe a lot of thanks to him because he taught me everything I knew about diving. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. But hi, everyone. I would just like to say thank you for selecting me for the Durfee Hall of Fame. It's quite an honor to be voted in. Thank you to the selection committee, and congratulations to all the other recipients. And I would also like to say a big thank you to my mom and dad for all of their love and support, and again for Dr. Tates teaching me how to dive in the first place. Thanks to my husband, who's sitting here also. And congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations, Amy. Next, we have Stephanie Valente being inducted by Coach Tom Burns.
That was interesting listening to those stories. Good evening. It's great to see so many familiar faces from Durfee Athletics. It's been a few years since the last time I stood here to introduce a member to the Durfee Athletic Hall of Fame, but tonight is a little more special to me. I had the opportunity to watch and observe every one of the inductees that went in tonight while I was at Durfee. I would like to congratulate you all on becoming members of the Durfee Athletic Hall of Fame, a well-deserved honor. I've been asked to interview Stephanie Valente Mediate for induction into this year's Hall of Fame class. Stephanie has all the credentials of being recognized for the honor. She was a three-year starter on the volleyball and tennis teams and was captain and MVP for both. She was named to the Boston Globe All-Scholastics volleyball team, the Boston Herald, Providence Journal, and Herald News Sports All-Star teams for volleyball. She was also a multi-year all-conference all-star in both sports. That's a pretty impressive high school sports resume. Stephanie continued her athletic career at the University of Vermont, where she excelled as a setter in the volleyball program. I would like to take a brief moment to better explain her Durfee volleyball excellence. Quickly, a brief lesson in Volleyball 101. We all know that you're allowed 3 ball touches per reception from your opponent when the ball comes over the net. Stephanie was a setter of the Durfee volleyball team. In case you don't know the term or job description, she was a quarterback, leader, and player in charge on the floor. A setter is responsible for getting the pass from the teammate who received the ball from the opponent. They get that pass and make the next pass to set up the attack. Sounds pretty easy, doesn't it? That's not true. A setter has to move from wherever they were on the receiving rotation of their offensive position a setter has to move from wherever they were on the receiving rotation to their offensive position, which is the front right near the net. They also have to recognize where the opponent's players have moved to play defense. Remember, 6 players rotate around the court every time the team wins back service. When the ball is served, players can move or switch to other positions on the floor according to the rules of volleyball. Here's Volleyball 102 for you. The setter needs to know where the opponent's best blockers, best offensive players are, and where the setter went. At the same time, the setter has to understand what switches have been made on their team, the attack options they may have available. Then the setter has to react to how the ball was passed to them. It could be a real good pass that allows the setter to have probably 4 options, or a bad pass, and the setter has to move quickly to the ball, react to where it was, and then evaluate what attack options they now have. The setter uses this pass option available, uses the best pass option available for each pass they receive, makes that pass, then covers the pass in case the ball is blocked at the net by the opponents. If the other team returns the ball into this offensive cycle happens again, everybody goes back where they are and they start all over again. Gets pretty confusing after a while. The setter has a very difficult job and responsibility. Not many spectators appreciate what a difficult job setters have. A good setter has to understand the strengths and weaknesses of their teammates. The setter needs to understand all the players' rotations their team has as they rotate around the floor. The setter needs to know which players switch positions and where they will be when we're receiving the ball on an offensive attack. Then they have to make sure that the players all return back to their original start for the next serve. A good setter is like having a coach on the floor. Well, through my many years of coaching girls and boys volleyball and being the athletic director, I've seen many setters, both Durfee setters and our opponents. Lots of average setters, some very good setters, and some excellent setters. In my opinion, the best setter to ever wear the red and black for Durfee was Stephanie Valenti Mediate. Stephanie set the gold standard for the setting position at Durfee High School, a standard that all Durfee coaches have tried to get their setters to follow. It is my pleasure to introduce for induction into the Durfee Athletic Hall of Fame, Stephanie Valenti Mediate. Thanks, Bill. You're one of those kids, too.
Thank you, Mr. Burns, and thank you to the committee and everyone that came out tonight to honor all of us. It's really exciting to be part of the Red and Black. I love Durfee. It's exciting to hear all the stories. My poor husband, who listens to all the stories every time we're out at dinner with our friends or anywhere. We truly have a lot of pride. Each candidate, everybody that's been here tonight, has shared the pride they have in Durfee. So it's really a great honor to be up here. I want to thank the committee for recognizing us, recognizing me and selecting me to be part of this. I want to really thank Craig for calling me. It was great to have a friend and former athlete call me to let me know I was part of the, I was selected for the Hall of Fame. Really, the committee, I know how busy you all are. You have kids, you have jobs, you're trying to work and set up this beautiful event. Craig, I think the day you called me, you were in the car line about to have the whole class at your house for the last day of school party. And Craig said to me, if I have to go, it's because I have a car full of kids about to pile into the car. So kudos to all of you. You put on a great event, and thank you. I know how hard it is. I want to thank Melissa Panchley, who's not here. She's celebrating her 25th anniversary on a cruise, so happy anniversary, because I'm sure she's watching, for nominating me and always supporting me, even though she was on the field hockey fields. She always supported the volleyball team, even to this day. She came to watch my daughter play in Portsmouth. She's a fan. Anyone that knows Missy, a lot of people here do, she really represents what Durfee's about and Durfee pride. So thank you, Missy. I want to congratulate all the former inductees that are here, including Mr. Burns, and everybody that's being inducted tonight. My Durfee journey was a lot different than a lot of people because my parents both taught at Durfee. I grew up at Durfee. I started going to Durfee probably in first grade. Mr. Burns would pick us up in his blue Jeep, and we would go to Durfee for practice. I'd get to go on the bus with the team back in the days of Kathy Carl doing her robot and singing on the bus on the way home. So I wanted to be a Durfee athlete my whole life. I would go to the games, I would go to the events, and I couldn't wait to be at Durfee. Back when I played at Morton, Mrs. Simcock's team, we got to play at Durfee, so I was like, here I am. We went to the sports banquets, and all throughout the whole time I saw the pride that Durfee athletes had. So I couldn't wait. I'd be at the sports banquets, and I see everyone getting their Durfee Ds, and I really wanted to have my D to put on my wall at home. So it's really an honor to be here. My true passion was really from volleyball. My dad was the coach. I got to go there. I got to watch him coach. I got to learn from him, and here I am today because of him. I really want to thank all of my coaches throughout the years that I had. Mr. Burns, Mr. Peliquin, who's here, I know, for putting us all back together when we were broken. My amazing Durfee friends and athletes who are sharing the passion for Durfee still with their children. I know several of my friends that are here tonight, their kids were really strong Durfee athletes too, and will probably be sitting here several years from now. So thank you to all of you. My family, my kids, who have to listen to the talk of volleyball. My daughter is a big volleyball player, so she's sharing the passion for volleyball that I learned from my dad. So it's a really neat opportunity. My poor son who gets dragged to the volleyball games, and my husband who literally hears Durfee stories pretty much every day. I've been to a lot of schools, and I've never seen anyone with the pride that Durfee has. I don't see it at the high school my kids are at. Really, we have a strong bond, and the red and black is really strong. I want to thank my mom for never missing a game. She drove to the University of Vermont one day and drove all the way back home in the same day to see me play. Back in the day of the video cameras, she had the big camera recording the game with the big lights. It was half of the VCR. Really, truly, my parents supported me. They drove me all over. I don't think my mom missed a Durfee game in all of the years that I played and all of the years after I played. And I think even when my dad retired from coaching, my mom and dad kept going to the games because they didn't know what to do with their time. I really want to thank my dad. He inspired me through volleyball, through my journey. He brought me to the track. He tossed me balls. When I bought the crazy jump shoes because I wanted to jump higher, he took me to the track and we practiced jumping. When I wanted to play in college, he took me to make a video so I could play in college. So truly, my dad and Mr. Burns supported me through the years, and my dad's my hero. As many of you know here, it was hard for him in his final years of coaching after I was gone, and he inspired me to keep working hard and to keep my dedication to volleyball. So I really want to thank him, because without him, I wouldn't be standing here today, because he really made me the Durfee athlete that I am. So I want to thank the committee, finally. It's a truly honor, and congratulations to all.
And we saved the hockey guys for last. Up next is Kevin Brum to be inducted by Coach Steve Mara.
Thanks a lot for the invitation. First of all, I would like to thank the Durfee Hall of Fame Committee for inviting me here tonight. And I'm speaking for my longtime assistant coach, Bob Costa, for this opportunity to be part of this presentation celebrating many of the great Durfee athletes of the past. And I'd like to congratulate all the inductees tonight, well-earned, and everybody here at Durfee, we're proud of you. And we'll never forget you. We remember everything you've done over the years. During my 16 years of coaching ice hockey at Durfee High School, I've had the opportunity and pleasure of coaching many young athletes who always represented Durfee High School with class. Tonight, I am honored to be granted the privilege of introducing 3 of my players into the Durfee Hall of Fame. Tonight, I say congratulations to Bobby Raposa, Kevin Brum, and Kevin De Silva. Well deserved. And I know I'm doing a single presentation one at a time, but what I'm going to say now goes to all 3 of my players. So they were leaders, but they were the best leaders. I always said, what's the best leaders? The best leaders listen more and talk less. The best leaders bring teammates up instead of putting them down. The best teammates lead by example. The best leaders do the right thing when no one is watching. So, I thought, how is the best way I can describe the reference Bobby, Kevin, and Kevin had on their teammates and their coaching staff? Well, I will say it in simple words, and this describes these 3 great athletes to a T. My simple words: commitment, supportive, confident, competitive, respectful, and the last word, winners. And one thing we could always say about these three great players is they were like a nightmare walking through the rink doors on game day, a nightmare for the opponents. Because there was never one time that they didn't come to the rink without their A game. They always gave 105%, nothing less. So, on behalf of myself, the coaching staff, all your former teammates, we say thank you for your contributions to the Durfee hockey program. And the first presentation is what player? Kevin? Which one? I got two. Kevin the silver, Billy Flames. Oh, okay. So, all right. So, Kevin Brum? All right. Kevin Brum. Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Kevin Brum. And it's quite impressive. I'll tell you, doesn't seem like 30 years ago, but the memories are like yesterday. And here's what I want to say about Kevin Brum. 3-time Big Three Conference champion. 3-time Big Three Conference All-Star. 3-time Herald News All-Star. In his playing years, 3 MIAA state hockey tournament appearances. And he finished with a great record. One of 7 Durfee players to be in the 100-point club. Kevin finished with 109 scoring points. Would have been higher, except for that freshman year when a broken leg, right, Kevin? But what a player. 53 goals, 56 assists. In his senior year, he was a co-captain. What Kevin lacked in size was overshadowed by his fast skating skills and athletic ability. He played important roles on the team's power play and penalty killing units. And in his sophomore year and junior years, and I'm sure Kevin will be the first to say, he was surrounded with some good teammates. And he got to play in his sophomore and junior years with line mates Eric Bradbury and Eric Bertrand. And Bertrand, Bradbury, Brum, you got it, BBB. They got the nickname the Killer Bees. This line was so dominating in games. Just to tell you how they finished, and I broke it down, the 2 years that line of the Killer Bees were playing for Durfee High School. I'm glad I wasn't coaching against them, but in the 2 years, 206 scoring points. It's a school record. I don't think it'll be broken. 94 goals, 112 assists. One word describes the Killer Bees: domination. So, again, I would like to let Kevin know how proud I am of him for his great accomplishments on the Durfee hockey program. And again, congratulations on an award well deserved. So, congratulations, Kevin. Okay, Kevin, the stage is all yours. All right.
Wow. I was not expecting this at all. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge all the other inductees. Congratulations, especially a good friend, Bobby Raposa. Bobby and I started playing hockey when we were 7 years old, all the way through high school, so it's pretty cool to see. Full circle. Also, I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for doing such a great job and putting on a great event. Thank you very much. I want to thank a few people. I'm going to make this quick because my son's baseball game is about to start, and I'm trying to watch it on Game Changer. I want to start by thanking my coaches. Coaching's tough. It's long hours, little to no pay, and you got to deal with teenagers. It's kind of like being a parent, so we know how that is. It's a lot of fun. Head coach Steve Morris. Steve was a great guy. Did his homework. Steve was a good friend, great coach, good mentor. Did his homework, got us ready at practice. He put us on the ice, prepared to win. He did a great job. I also want to thank Steve. I don't think I properly thanked him. 32 years ago, Steve was my driving school instructor and he helped me get my license. So, thank you. I'm still driving. I think I have 2 accidents so far so good. Coach Bob Costa, Coach Costa, great coach, excellent goalie coach, probably the best motivator I've been around. He would get us in a room, play a song, and the next thing you know, you're ready to run through a wall. He knew what to say, how to say it, and how to get the best energy from you. Third coach, Coach Scotty Santos. Scotty's not here today, but Scott's a great guy. Unbelievable hockey player for Durfee as well. Scotty was the trash talker of the group. He would drop his little one-liners, kind of put you in your place, which was good. Being a teenager, you needed to be told where you're at, and it was great. So I want to thank my coaches. Thank you very much. Being a parent of 2 boys who play sports, you don't realize the sacrifices our parents make. So I want to say thank you to my parents, my mom and dad. Thanks to my dad getting me and my brother into hockey at such a young age. I was 3, my brother was 5. My mom, she never missed a game. It was awesome. I wish they were here. They'd be very proud. So thank you to them. The time, the commitment, the money, we all know, so thank you. When I first got the call from Terry, I immediately called my wife. She was very happy. And then I immediately called my brother John. I called John because I knew he would be excited as me. He played hockey for Durfee, unbelievable player. He helped out a lot in my career. Being the younger sibling, I was just trying to keep up with him and his friends. Just try to do good enough to play. So I want to say thank you to my brother John for being a great role model, setting the example, and raising the bar this high. So thank you. Thank you. Believe it or not, hockey is not an individual sport. There's no way I can be here without my teammates. And I had some great teammates in 4 years. Guys who gave me great memories, great friendships. So I want to thank them. This award is as much theirs as it is mine. It could not happen without them, so thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah. Playing hockey for Durfee, the last thing I thought about was standing here 30 years later accepting an award for the Hall of Fame. This is not what I thought about. I was too busy thinking about playing hockey with my friends, going to practice, the road games, hopping on the bus, what grind am I going to order, winning, where's the party going to be after we win, and who's going to buy the beer. That was the important stuff when you're in high school. I truly believe that playing sports has helped me achieve a lot of goals in life. It's gotten me to where I am today. Lessons that I've learned that I try to pass along to my kids. It was an honor to play hockey at Durfee, a school with such a rich sports tradition. It was an honor to represent a city with such a great history and such a strong work ethic. In closing, I want to say, as a community, as adults, as parents, it is our responsibility to support youth sports. It is our responsibility to support our schools, to help our kids achieve their goals and to move along in life and to be better people, better human beings. It is also our responsibility to support our coaches. I want to say thank you very much.
All right, next I'm going to speak on behalf of Bobby Raposa, and I'm just going to tell you his accomplishments, the highest level you could ever imagine. Coaching Bobby was an honor. He was a great player. He was even a greater person. And Bobby's career at Durfee High School, he ended up with 134 scoring points, 69 goals, 68 assists. And that's right at the top of the Durfee all-time scorers. I could only imagine what it would have been if I had Bobby playing up front maybe a little earlier. But he was great. I mean, he played forward in his junior year, and he set, in that junior year, he set a record for most points in a season with 62, 35 goals, 27 assists. He was also a 3-time Big Three Conference champion, 3 times Big Three Conference All-Star, 3 times Fall River Herald News All-Star, and he was just amazing. Everybody thinks about how the scoring developed in his junior and senior year, but he still played both ways for me. Bobby, we're trying to protect this lead. This team is tough. They're ranked high in the state. Need you on D. No problem. Went out there, did the job. He played both ways. Killed penalties, played on the power play. Everything you could think of and anything a coach would want. I just cross-checked the microphone. But Bobby did it, and he was just great. Again, Bobby goes in as one of 7 players that are in the Durfee 100-point club. And to put up these numbers is amazing when you stop and think that no matter where we went, Bobby drew a lot of traffic and attention. Everybody was that Raposa kid. We got to stop him. He was that dominative on the ice. I remember going into some arenas out of town, you're walking in, and you can hear the parents in the lobby, "Oh, Durfee, oh, where are they from?" Oh, you're going to find out. This Raposa kid, they got a kid named Raposa. Who's that Raposa kid? I'm walking by, and in my mind I said, "Don't worry, you're going to find out. And it's going to be a lot sooner than later." That's how much of an impact player Bobby was. And I got to say this, and I want to make no mistake about it. For those of you who never got to see Bobby Raposa play during his days at Durfee, you missed some great performances. No doubt about it. He was the real deal. By far, the most dominating high school hockey player I have ever coached, and the most dominating player in the history of Durfee hockey. I say that with no hesitation. Bobby, I love you. Kevin, I love you. Kevin, I love you. All you guys. So right now this is Bobby's podium. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of all my inductees. The floor is yours, my man.
I want to say first and foremost, this is awful for me. To be in front of all of you is terrible, but I am beyond appreciative. Obviously, thankful to the committee, my coaches. I can go on about Kevin, remember Don Bosco, the 1-4, because we had no business being on the ice with them. He put a system in play that we saved face. I think it was, 6-1? And they predicted 13-14-1? But anyways, end of the day, the game for us as kids, I mean, this is, for me, I'll speak for me. this was always easy. It's hockey. I still, at my age now, all I want to do, it's my happy place. So it was always easy. And to get any kind of acknowledgement for doing the thing I love I'm thankful to anyone who does. But I was able to do what I did because of my folks. And for that, I guess I wish I could make it more about them. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet and just say thank you and thank you. Lisa, I'm sorry, my sister. Yes. My sister outside my folks, whenever I went anywhere, she made sure she came to where I was and seen the game. So I got to make sure I mention her. But to get acknowledgement for something that I still seek out doing because it's my enjoyment I'm grateful to all of you. Thank you guys. Experience was, we'll still talk about it again till the day we can.
That's it.
Kev, this is one more thing. Me and Kev grew up doing this, and to be going through this with him makes it even more special. So, thank you all.
My last inductee, Kevin De Silva. But before I start, I'll just mention what Bobby said about the old 1-4 wall. And we spent a lot of time on practicing it. And yeah, Durfee High School, you guys have no chance. We're going to blow you out of the arena 13-1. That team had actually tied Catholic Memorial, who was the #1 team in the state that year. So we said we had our work cut out. But it ain't the coaches, Bobby, thank you, it's the players. And we had a great group of players who were able to adapt to that system, and we did lose the game. I remember it clearly. It was 3-2. And the team just did a great job that day. So again, that's just a compliment to you and all your teammates. Kevin was on that team. And again, that was just a great night and a great accomplishment. So again, thank you. Kevin De Silva, 20 years, huh, Kev? Time flies. I got a lot of good things to say about Kevin. 3-time Big Three Conference champion. 2 times Big Three Conference All-Star. 4-time Challenge Cup champion. A leader. 2002, junior year. MVP of the first Prender Cup playoffs, leading Durfee to the championship in a 6-0 win, leading the way with 2 goals. 3-time MIAA tournament participant. And Kevin also holds the record, the Durfee record, for most points in a season by a freshman with 26. 14 goals, 12 assists. To come in and do that as a freshman, and the teams we played were pretty good, weren't they? So to put up points like that, you were good. And a freshman, outstanding. So another thing about Kevin, freshman year, this just goes to show you the type of player he was. We're in the MIAA tournament, and we're down 4-1 in the 3rd period. And Durfee never quits. Winners never quit, quitters never win. We weren't quitters. Down 4-1 in the 3rd period, we won. And it was set up by Kevin. I'm sure you remember it. Kevin got the game-tying goal. It was against Weymouth with 15 seconds left in regulation. I'm like, hurry, hurry, hurry! Clock is going. And that tied the game. We went into overtime, and we won the game. Another thing I'd say about Kevin, this is, junior year. Playing New Bedford at home at Driscoll Rink for the Big Three Conference Championship. Well, early in the third period, Kevin received a blindsided hit in back of the net. And he was down, and he was out. But Kevin's tough. Tough. Got clearance from our athletic trainer, came back onto the ice, and I just want to make sure I get this right. He got, just going to flip the card, so I think I have it on two sides. Yep, he ended up coming back scoring 2 goals in a 5-minute span in that game. And that broke a 1-1 tie when he scored those 2 goals. And that led us to the Big 3 Conference Championship over New Bedford. Now, that's a winner. Down and out. Maybe the lesser athlete would have said, I'm done for the night. Not Kevin. Not done. Tough. 1-1. New Bedford's tough. Gets up 2 goals in a 5-minute span. Rest is history. Big 3 Conference Championship. Last thing. Junior year. MIAA tournament. I remember it like it was yesterday. We're playing Silver Lake. They had beaten us earlier in the year. I believe it was 5-1. So I'm sure they're coming into that game. Durfee. Beautiful. That's just who we want to draw. We beat them earlier in the year 5-1. We'll probably beat them even worse tonight. Well, not really. We have winners at Durfee High School. Winners don't quit. And I remember it like yesterday. Late in the game, 1-1, coming down. With 1:53 to go, Kevin converted a pass from a teammate, fired it by the Silver Lake goalie, and we went on and won that game 2-1. That is what Kevin De Silva is and does. So, again, this is your night, Kevin. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations. You always represented Durfee in the highest class manner. All yours.
All right. Well, I can't say I didn't have anxiety all day and all week. It was a pretty significant week for me, as I was in a hospital for a few days. We had a newborn baby girl. Morgan Grace, I love you so much. Unfortunately, my wife cannot be here tonight. I wish you were here. Charlotte, I love you so much. I'm a sap, just like Kev was. Got to be a Kev thing. Got to be a Kev thing. All right, so good evening, everyone. Today I stand here with an overwhelming sense of gratitude as I accept this prestigious honor of being inducted into our High School Hall of Fame. It is such a privilege to be recognized among such talented individuals. The mark they had left in our school's history is undeniable. First and foremost, I would like to thank the selection committee, in particular Billy Tran, a good friend of mine for many, many years, since the early days of elementary school. Thank you for bestowing me this honor. Obviously, making that phone call to me was amazing. When Billy called me, I was actually installing some flooring at a random customer's house. Usually my dad is the first person I call, but in this particular day, it was Chris from Rock Street. And I told him, I immediately told him the amazing news that I had gotten. He recognized how proud and humbled I was for this achievement. I called my dad shortly after, So thank you for answering that phone call, Pop. I would also like to extend my gratitude to my family, whose unstoppable support and encouragement throughout all my years of playing this amazing game. My brother, my sister, Katie, my mom, and of course my dad. It meant the world to me. Dad, thank you for your dedication and your countless hours you spent driving me around to thousands of practices, power skating clinics, which I couldn't stand, and games, all to watch me grow as a player and a person. I will never forget those days and nights. I can't thank you enough for your patience and your endless guidance to this day. Furthermore, I would like to thank all my coaches, Coach Moore, Coach Costa, Coach Carey, and the late Coach Gagnon. To all my teammates that I battled with each and every game, thank you for your camaraderie. It was some of the best years of my life. The success of my career doesn't happen without you all. For the amazing friends and family that took the time out of their busy lives to support me on this special night, I can't thank you enough. God bless. Stay true to yourself.
Congratulations to the Durfee hockey. Very unique that we get 3 hockey players in one class and 2 sets of teammates. That's a really special moment. So congratulations to the hockey guys. This concludes the induction ceremony. On behalf of Durfee High School and the Durfee Athletic Hall of Fame, I'd like to thank everybody and congratulate the class of 2023 in their induction. Stay tuned for some events, Hall of Fame events during the winter and spring seasons at Durfee High School, and we start the process for the class of 2024 sometime in the spring. If anybody has any athletes that they have in mind, please reach out to a committee member. We can start the process. So with that, everybody enjoy their night.